Hey guys, it's me Narelle here, and welcome back to a new video. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you because this is another Sketchbox. I know, once upon a time, I was like, you know what, I'm done with Sketchbox. I don't want to order no more boxes, but then I saw the April premium box, and I'm like, I have to get it. Alright, so before I actually open the box, I just want to shout out the artist on top. It is Maria Vargas, so go check her out if you like her little cute animal drawing up here. I like how it's like tri-toned, so it's gray, purple, pink, and green. I love this, and I'm always jealous when people can draw animals because I can't. I need to learn how to, but just go check her out if you guys like that type of thing. Come on, box. Oh, okay. Woo! Okay, Sketchbox. They're getting a little bit more fancy with their wrapping because if you remember my old Sketchboxes, they didn't wrap their stuff. They just kind of let it sit there so we can see what it is. But okay, Sketchbox, I see what you doing. Hand claps of freaking praise. Okay. And I might actually keep this paper because this is actually very cute. Alright, so we're going to open it up. Oh, okay. So these are the cards that I'm going to look at later because those actually spoil the supplies. So I'm going to grab the sticker first. This is actually super dope. Look at that. They actually upgraded everything because their stickers didn't look like this. Alright, so the first thing I see when I open the box were these. These are the Emot Ever Fine. I think they're liner pens, if I am correct. Let me see. Yep, they're fine liners, if my phone would focus. There we go. They're fine liners. So we have a yellow, like a mustard yellow, a green, a darker green, a purple, and a kind of a Tuscan red. I'm like super excited to see how these work. I'm going to open them up and test them on another part of the video, but that's actually quite cool. Quite cool. Alright, so the next thing I see is this little thing in the bag. It is another pen. It's in black. It is a Gochi pen. I've heard a lot about these pens. I've heard a lot of people like these pens. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm like super excited to unbox everything that I see in here. Alright, so the next thing I see are these pens right here. Oh my gosh. I'm like a kid in a candy store. So these are by the brand Karin, and they're Brush Marker Pros. Okay. Alright. So I think this is silver. I'm going to open this up because since they're singles, I can open them. Hold on. Ooh, okay. Oh, so they're like a paint marker. So you have to you gotta flick it down to get it to work. But oh my gosh, that is super dope. So you got a gray one, a brown one. Maybe this is clear. Maybe that's clear. I don't know. I'm just going to play around. And this is a gold one? I think it's gold. Yeah, okay. So this is metallic red gold, if my phone would focus. This is copper brown. And then this one is just a blender. So this is the blender of these two. I'm confused. Missed one. Okay, so this one is neutral gray. Oh my gosh, I've never had anything like these. So these are actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. Alright, so the next things I see is some Tombow brush markers. They're in two different shades of blue. If you guys don't know, I'm in love with the Tombow markers. I love them a lot. They're really nice. If I open them, they have a really nice brush nib, and ooh, they are water-based markers, but I don't really like them. I don't use them with water. I just use them like they are, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. And the last thing in the box, which I can feel, is another one of those things. But this one is almond. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So I just got to turn to a fresh new page for all of you guys to see all of these nice supplies. I'm going to use the backmost page so I don't ruin all my other pages. So I do have a cup of water so I can get the water effects of these pens to work. So I'm going to use my first supplies that I got first, which is the Emote Uni pen. So I'm going to move my sketchbook and I'm going to open these up with you guys. I can only say so much when I open up and test these. This is actually very nice casing. Oh my gosh, that's really cool. And this isn't plastic, it's like a hard plastic. Isn't that cool? That is so dope. But anyways, I'm gonna take them out. Okay, these are kind of hard to take out. Ooh. Okay, so they clip on the bottom of it. Okay, that is super dope. Super, super dope. Like, I probably wouldn't keep the packaging, but I'll keep the little stand so I can get them to stand, you know, by themselves. All right. So that's the swatches of these pens. As again, like I said, they're like the Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners. They're just very thin pens that you would rather draw with and not chance lining or sketching with. All right, so now we're going to move on to swatching the Tombow brush markers. These are actually going to be super simple because I use these all the time, so I don't really need to see how they work. But I'm here to see the colors since there are new colors in the Tombow line. So, ooh. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. And I'm going to show you that you can use them with water, which is actually quite cool, but I would rather use them, you know, by themselves without using them with water. So if you see here, you can put water over it to get a water effect. If you see? That's cool, right? Alright, so next we're going to test out the Kuretake. Oh my gosh, my Japanese is horrible. Fudegochi pen. There we go. We're gonna try this out. Oh my gosh. But I've heard a lot of people like this pen a lot, so I've heard things. So we're gonna take it out. It looks like, you know, what's those pens called? They look exactly like this, but they have darker. It's dark. It's like like a gray, a really dark gray pen. They look exactly like this. I cannot remember. Cannot remember what it's called, but they look like those pens. So I'm gonna open it up very slowly. Ooh, I like this type of nib. I love this. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Kuretake. Let's see what we're working with. Ooh, I love this. This is a type of liner that I like. That's a brush. It's like a stern brush nib. And I love this. And it glides so nice on the paper. All right, now the moment we've been waiting for. I get to finally test out these bad boys. I feel like this would be the main source of skin tone for this box since we got a lot of browns. So I'm going to take out the blender because we don't need that right now. So I'm going to swatch all of these, and these are water-based, so I cannot wait to see how they work on this paper. I have one more left to do, which is the metallic gray. All right, so let's see what we're working with. That is like a really nice metallic. It's not strong metallic, which is also a good thing, because sometimes having too much of a shine can really deter the look you want. And yeah, this one doesn't blend well with water either. So I would not blend the little red, gold, or the metallic gray, because they don't look well with water. But for these two, you can get some really nice effects. And the blender is supposed to blend both of these colors. Hold on. The blender is supposed to blend both of these colors together. So I'm going to see if the magic works. So I'm going to do this because we all know blenders don't work half the time. So if this blender works, I'm going to be super, super, super happy. So I'm just going to try blending it out with the color itself to see if it goes lighter. So I don't have to shake it, do I know? So here we go. Let's see if the blender works. Let's see if it brings it out. Okay. Okay, alright, I see you. Alright, so I'm going to do this color from this side. And then the almond on the other side. Okay, I want to do the blender. Okay, hunty. I see you. Let's see you. Oh, wow. Okay. I think like any other blender, you can clean it off by wiping it on a thing. Alrighty guys, so now we're on the speed paint portion of this video. I actually did this a little bit different. I decided just to kind of give you guys a more realistic sense of how these supplies worked. I decided to add a real-time clip of me using every supply just to kind of give you guys, again, a real-time sense of how these worked. So if you guys like this, maybe I'll get more subscription boxes and kind of do them this way, so I won't kind of give you guys what I experienced. You can kind of see it for yourself if these are supplies that you would want to buy and or work with. So yes, so I'm going to go ahead and get into my positives and negatives of all these supplies that was contained in this box, because overall I really like this box. It was not a bad box. Coming from my bad experiences with Sketchbox way beforehand, I was blown away with how well this box was put together, and I actually give them a million hand claps of praise. I'm actually quite sad that their subscriptions are kind of filled up, so I can't subscribe anymore, so I kind of have to live off just buying the previous boxes, which is actually a bad thing because I spoil what's inside, but just to know what's inside is another exciting thing as well. So getting on with it, the first supply I'm going to be talking about is these brush markers, which you're seeing me use right now. So my first positive is that the ink is very smooth in them. Blending them out is like a dream. It's not hard at all. Like I said, with blenders for any marker brand, it doesn't work. It'll lighten the color, but it won't blend it out. But with these, hunty, it blended it out very much so easily, and it didn't have no trouble at all trying to get the colors to push out. So that I give its kudos to, but it does stain the brush. So if you are one for not wanting your brushes to be stained, you're not going to really like it, but I don't even care because it works the way it's supposed to work and I'm Gucci with it. So the brush is very bouncy. It's like a Copic Ohuhu brush nib. It's very bouncy, so it lives up to its name for being a brush marker. And these markers are very not intimidating. Yes, they look intimidating because you never used something like this before, but after you kind kind of play around with it. It actually is very fun to use them, and yes, I actually went into the drawing intending to use these as paint markers. That's the reason why I don't have a line art, as you can see, because I thought I could paint with them, which was a bad idea on my part because these technically are not paint markers. I wouldn't use them as so, even though I do like the effect right now. I feel like with more practice, I could get a painterly effect with these, but for right now, please do line art with these because, I don't know, it just scared me using these for the first time and not knowing not knowing what I was doing. So, and getting on to the negatives, these are prone to bleeding. So if you blend them out a lot, the colors do bleed if you don't let the paper dry. So watch out for that. The metallic colors are not metallic. They dry down to our normal colors. So I guess that's a negative because if you get a metallic color, you want it to live, hunty. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. So overall, I enjoyed my experience with these brush markers, and I give these a rating 4.5 out of 5 because they're amazing. So that's it for the Karen brush markers. So next, I will be reviewing the Tombow brush markers. As you guys may know, I love these markers. I kind of have a bias against them, but every bias has its negative, like I always say. So with the Tombow markers, these honestly are super easy to use. They may look intimidating, but once you get the right colors, they blend like a dream. They are really long, so you have a lot of room to put your hand on the marker, which is also very key because the Cottine brush markers are very small in comparison, so you kind of have to cramp your hand on the marker, which I guess is a negative that I just thought about. But at the same time, having a longer marker is much so of a positive because you won't feel claustrophobic when holding your supply. So another thing I really like about them is that they have two nibs. So if the brush nib is too big for a space in which you want to, get details in, it does come with the fine nib, though I don't use the fine nib because I don't know, I just don't have a use for it. Once I find a use for the fine nib, then I will use it. So again, overall, these are really nice markers, and these two colors, when I swatched them, I was like, oh my gosh, I live for them. But when I actually put them together, the color difference was way off, and you'll see when I get more into his hair that these are not the two colors I would use to blend personally. But yes, and a negative I would have to say with these markers is that they are water based, but they do not work well with water. I didn't have a good experience working water with them, so I just use them like they're just regular markers. But if you guys love using them with water, that's totally on you, but I just don't like using water with these because it literally isn't the best thing. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Tombow brush markers. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is this Kuretake let me go back. The Kuretake Fudegokochi pen. Yes, I said that right. So, this is a fine liner that is water based. So if you put water on it, it'll bleed. Like you saw me when I colored his little sweater thing. It'll bleed. So the thing I like about this pen is that the nib is nice and firm. I'm not a big fan on brush liners that are bouncy. I just find it super hard to control them. So something like this works fine in my book. The ink is nice and black. It's not the type of ink that goes on black, dries gray, which a lot of you guys know some pens do that. So that's nice. And overall, it's a really nice pen. You get to see how much ink you have left because it has a little gauge on the side, which is also really nice. My negatives are it does not work well on watercolor paper. So if you're wanting to use this pen on watercolor paper, I would high-key not recommend it because when I lined this boyo, it just didn't like it. I started skipping a bit. The ink started drying out. And again, I would high-key not recommend using this pen on watercolor paper. So I'm pretty much sure if I use this on cardstock, it would blend like a dream. So yes, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Kuretake fine liners. So the last thing I have to talk about is these Emot Uni fine liner pens. At the end of this video, you'll see me use them. You will not see me use them in this video specifically because I kind of rolled out that these pens are not good for drawings. Maybe you can find a way with them, but I just use them as sketching pens. So with these pens, these are actually very much so thin enough to get crisp lines if you want to sketch. With pen, they're not those type of pens that you have to be like, oh my gosh, I have to lightly touch the paper to get them thin. They're automatically thin, hunty, and you would not have no issues at all using these pens. Again, like I said, the nib is really nice. I love them. The only thing about this set that I wish was different is that they had more darker colors. Yes, having a light color is sweet because you get the color in your sketches with a light color that's not too dark, but for me, if I had to make my own set of sketching pens, I would honestly get darker colors because you get to see them and you don't have to squint your eyes to see these pens. Also, if you like journaling, planners, bullet journaling, whatever, that community, I feel like you would love these pens equally enough because, again, they're thin enough for you to write with, and I just kind of see these as writing pens rather than drawing pens. But since this box was calligraphy based, a lot of these supplies will work amazing if you just like writing. So a lot of my opinions are coming from an artist, not from a person who writes all the time. So if you guys write all the time, please tell me in my comment box below, would this be a box that you would like? Just let me know because I'm not a writer, I'm a drawer. So from my point of view, a lot of these do work well with drawing purposes, but from the writing point of view, let me know if these supplies will work for what you guys use them for. So I guess the last few minutes of this video, I could just talk about, I don't know, subscription boxes, I guess. I don't know, because I kind of ran out of things that I wanted to say. So if you guys are uninformed of what subscription boxes are, they're pretty much boxes you buy, and in the box are random things in which you don't know you're getting until you get it. And it's kind of like Christmas every month, my bad. It's kind of like Christmas every month because it's surprising you every month, and I really like it. The only downside about subscription boxes art-wise is that you may get supplies you don't use and you're just stuck with them and you're just like, crap, what am I going to do with these supplies? And sadly enough, some of them I have to throw away because my family is not artistically inclined besides me, so I don't really have people around me that would use them. So I'm like, trash they go. And I know that's a horrible thing, but it's just that why keep something that you cannot use? That's just my whole philosophy of supplies that you can't use. And these subscription boxes are not cheap. I got the premium box of Sketchbox. I don't know if I said that when I went through the unboxing of it, but this was $35, which is not bad. I do admit it's not a bad price. I bought it after it came out, so maybe it's like $10 less, but it was $35, and some subscription boxes are higher than that for the premium brand. So I would highly recommend you guys looking up the prices and seeing if it's something that you would be interested in. So yeah, that's my spiel. But as for the drawing, I really liked it. He actually went through a very bad ugly phase, and I was actually thinking about deleting this footage by itself and just restarting it all over. But I was like, Narelle, it's important for you to show your people how your first takes really do turn out, because I know a lot of artists do drawings with the supplies, and then once they know the supply well enough, they'll actually make a drawing, which is okay, but I really wish a lot more artists would do their first takes on camera. And if you do another drawing with the supplies, show it and see how much you've learned from it, which I did do another drawing with these supplies, so you'll see that at the end of this video. So yes, so overall I like this box. If I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it a high 9.5 out of 10 because I really like it, and just coming from an artist perspective, it was really nice, and I think it's enjoyable to artists and writers. So now you're seeing me apply the metallic background because I honestly did not know where to put the metallic marker, and I didn't want to have that one marker left and I just end up not using it, so I just made a little line thing as for the background, and I think it worked really well. So I'm going to leave this part off with music because I'm pretty much done explaining everything, and then at the end of this video you'll see me show you the final product with the second drawing and with the drawing I did with the pens, so you guys can see overall how I felt. So yeah, that's it for this speed paint, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned to the next part so you can see my thoughts and feelings. So yeah, take care. So this is how the drawing ended up looking like. This has sat overnight and I still like it. Like I said in the speed paint portion, there are things I wish I could have changed, but I think it's actually really cute. So going into this, I knew I could apply the supplies a little bit more, so I actually did a second version of the drawing using the same exact supplies but going about the coloring a different way, and I really love how this turned out. And I decided to put Sketchbox on this hoodie because I thought that was a really cute design, because I wanted to add a design on this boyo but I didn't know where to put it, so I think that is actually a very cute attachment. And I also did some sketches with the pens. Like I said, I would use them to draw with rather than color with, so I drew Kagome and Sango from Inuyasha with the red pen and green pen. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Comment down below if you would see yourself using these supplies, and like I said, if I could find the box again, I will link it below if it's still available for purchase, so you guys can buy it and see what you think about it. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.